Why have I been speaking regarding the situation in Kenya these past few months? What has been going on? There are a number of reasons that I've had to focus on Kenya. I know my followers in the different parts of the world are wondering why I'm not taking them through scripture like I've done in the past. This year we've done a journey to the cross and beyond. And we also before that did a rising from ashes. And these were all Bible-based, scriptural, and all that. But from around June, I started to speak regarding the nation of Kenya after the Gen Zs went to the streets and protested. It's caused some questions in the minds of my followers to wonder what is going on. So I want to give about 3 reasons why I've been speaking regarding Kenya. Number 1 is a sermon I presented in June 22nd here in Camberwell in Melbourne, Australia, for such a time like this. As I prepared for this sermon, it coincided with the Gen Z protest in Kenya. And the sermon, I was dealing with the anatomy of a crisis, that a crisis has 4 elements, which can be summarized with the word tear. There were a lot of tears that came as a result of the protests in Kenya. T for trigger, E for escalation, A for appeal, and R for results. So as I presented this sermon, I was telling the congregation which crisis should you respond to. That Esther had to respond to the crisis in the book of Esther because it concerned her in a very personal way. And then during that preparation, it became clear that the crisis that God wanted me to respond to was the Kenyan crisis because it concerned me in a personal way. So reason number 1 why I've been speaking regarding Kenya is that there was that sermon, which sermon, which I felt became a sermon, summon, sermon, like the one when you are summoned by the courts. So it was not just a message, it became a sermon from above to talk. So number 2, also there was also a prophetic word that came just before I preached regarding Esther. Around June, I preached in Eldoret. And Bishop Gishana just went on a prophetic mode, which is not normal. And he prophesied over my life. When I arrived here in Melbourne, my daughter also came and had some very strong prophetic word, which aligned with what Bishop Gishana said. And also another pastor's wife from Kenya had sent me a vision she saw. And the 3 prophetic words were a confirmation that I should respond, particularly to matters pertaining to our nation, Kenya. Thirdly, I was reminded of how I participated in 2022 as a running mate of one of the independent presidential candidates in the 2022 general elections. You all know that no independent went through, but our motto that had been accepted by the IEBC, the slogan that had been accepted was Sauti ya Tumaini Mpya, the voice of new hope. And so that came up again during this time, that Kenya needs a voice of hope, a civic, constitutional, and credible voice that will bring Kenyans back to reason, not to look at the matters that are happening from the tribal lenses, but to look at it from a prophetic destiny mandate. So reason number 3, that participation was an eye-opener. Frustrating though, but it was an eye-opener. It opened a door for me to understand issues of governance in Kenya. So those are the three reasons why I have been talking and addressing matters pertaining to our 2010 Constitution, calling the church to order, and stuff like that. I would want to hear your feedback. God bless you and have a lovely day. Bye bye.